Hey, what's up, guys? Today I wanted to talk about interesting comment that Trump made about California. So let's take a look at this clip from Fox News.
Okay, folks?
There would be
Pretty else.
criticism from Governor Brown that some of this money might be better spent
Well, I
elsewhere.
think Governor Brown's done a very poor job running California. They have the highest taxes in the United States. The place is totally out of control. You have sanctuary cities where you have criminals living in the sanctuary cities. And then the mayor of Oakland goes out and notifies when ICE is going in to pick them up. And many of them were criminals with criminal records and very dangerous people, you would say dangerous people. And no, I think the governor's doing a terrible job running the state of California. And, hey, I have property in California, I will say. I don't think too much about my property anymore, but I have great property in California. The taxes are way, way out of whack. And people are going to start to move pretty soon. And if you don't have safety, meaning if you don't have this kind of wall, the drugs are pouring through in California. Can't do it. So the governor of California, nice guy. I think he's a nice guy. I knew him a long time ago. Has not done the job. And the taxes are double and triple what they should be. And everybody that lives in California, they know it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Now, in that short clip I put, and the reason why I want to talk about this, I should say why I want to talk about this, I saw this clip going around on Facebook. And the thing is, Facebook's a funny place. I try not to really go on there all that often myself, unless I'm looking for an article or something. But I saw people sharing the video, and people were saying things like, I don't agree with Trump often, but I do agree with him here. And it just drove me insane because this is to perpetrating a myth in this country. And that's really the only way I can sum this up. Now, Trump says that Jerry Brown has done a terrible job running California because A, the taxes are too high, and B, sanctuary cities have criminals running around, and that mayor of Oakland, I guess, warned people that ICE agents were coming, and to him, that's just completely unacceptable because they're criminals. But you know what? Okay, let's be real here. He says Governor Brown has done a terrible job running the state of California. Now, to be fair, I will say this right off the bat. I am not a fan of Jerry Brown, so don't be confused thinking that I think he's this great, awesome guy. No, I think Jerry Brown represents, the Clintonites and the Obamas. He's a neoliberal, moderate Democrat. He talks about climate change. He wants to make it sound like he really gives a shit, but while also approving offshore drilling in California, something that's been fought in the state for many decades because of a spill that I'm coincidentally writing a paper about in my history class. And Jerry Brown's a guy who kind of basically, I would say, half-asses being a progressive. He sits there and try and put taxes on certain cars because of all this stuff, while, like I said, pushing for a big pro big oil policy. So he's like I just don't know. It's another video in itself. I would really like to do on Jerry Brown because like I said, I'm not a fan. But that's the thing. That's the thing to me, because I will see this all the time in mainstream media. People always say they don't like someone or some kind of policy or some kind of decision, but they never cite good reasons for it, or majority of the time, I should say. And here goes Trump doing it right now. He cites high taxes and the whole ICE thing. And if you watch the full clip, which I will also link in the video, in the description, I'll link the full Trump talking to people about the wall, because he gives this thing while he's talking about a wall, and a reporter asks him, "Don't you think the money would be better spent somewhere else?" And he says, "No, no," as he always does. But the thing is, what Trump is doing here is what I would call basically just a waste of time and money. And this is how I feel about this whole wall thing. Because he cites, like I said, he cites the high taxes and the whole ICE thing. And, crime, we got to stop crime. We got to stop crime. And for those of you, remember, I'm pretty sure everyone remembers, but I'll remind you anyways. Remember Trump's campaign promise? Mexico will pay for the wall. I guarantee you, they're going to pay it. They're going to pay for that wall. To which people in Mexico said, ha, yeah, right. And lo and behold, they're not going to pay for the fucking wall. We are. We are going to pay for the damn wall, which, God, it's such a waste of money. If anybody wants to look into this, you can look it up. But we all know this wall will cost billions of dollars, and it's supposed to keep us safe. Now, granted, there have been a few crime incidents with illegal immigrant gangs and stuff like that, but it does not warrant warrant a gigantic 30-foot tall wall across the entire freaking country. That's going to cost billions of dollars. Will only temporarily employ people to build it, and then once it's done, it's done. The most jobs you get out of that is what? Putting some people on the border to watch it. And then tying this into the Jerry Brown thing, he says he's done a terrible job running California. Now hold on, sir. California is one of the biggest economies in the entire world, let alone the United States. It has an economy the size of whole countries. So it can be expensive in certain parts. Yes, that is very true. And I think more progressive policies from an actual progressive, not Jerry Brown, state of California would probably run a lot better. But the problem in this country that people like Jerry Brown and Trump both perpetuate is this fascination with wasting money on bullshit. And this wall is a prime example. He's citing all this shit about stopping crime. Okay, how about this, Mr. Trump? Here goes an article that I saw. Ro Khanna, he's a progressive politician. I love the guy. He shared this article, and I had to take a look at it myself. And this is where all your money goes, man. This article by SoFrip, first time I ever heard of this outlet, an article by Alex Hollings, and the article is entitled "Half of all F-35s delivered by Lockheed Martin are non-operational as negotiation continues a new contract." Now, let's get into what this really means. Now, the F-35 project that's been going on for a while now, some of you may have heard that it's been going through a lot of pitfalls. And so as of right now, 2018, they have 280 of these damn things, but only 51% of them are operational. Only 51% of them. And, well, get this. They costed $100 million, and the article does stress that sometimes it ranges actually as high as $120 million. So from let's just go with 100 million, just to say, just for sake of argument, 100 million, least possible amount. 100 million a pop, 280 of these things. So that has cost us $28 billion to make that crap, and only half of them work. And you might say, well, Josh, why are you counting the ones that work in that equation? Because at the end of the day, it's a waste of money. It is a complete waste of money for wars that have no purpose. And I'm going to show you how ridiculous this is, because the article goes on to state the reason why the F-35s have had so many problems, being put into actually out in the field and being useful, is because of a plan called concurrency. And the concurrency strategy basically means that production of the equipment begins before the testing phase is even complete. Do you know how idiotic that sounds? So, for the sake of a comparison, say you don't know much about making cookies, or say you're an expert, I don't know, make a new flavor of fucking cookie or some shit, and you think, oh, well, I don't know if people are actually gonna like these. I don't know how well they're gonna sell, but I'm gonna make them in mass. I'm gonna fucking mass produce this shit. I'm gonna make thousands of them, and then all of a sudden you have thousands of cookies laying around. Oh shit, only about half of them are fucking taste good. Only half these are even worth anything, and the other half, oh, well, there we go. What a waste, huh? What a waste. That was a what we would call a botched freaking program, and that's exactly what the F-35 is. And like I just said, it cost $28 billion to make this program happen, and it hasn't really gone anywhere. That is a tremendous waste of money. Now, I will say this in the F-35's defense is that, as the article points out, that the military-industrial complex, specifically Lockheed Martin, does provide jobs in many states in America making these contraptions. But the problem I have with this, and the problem you're never going to see about 99.9% of politicians, including Trump, the maverick, ever get into, is the fact that, man, the money we put into doing that project could have gone to so many other things. And as we all know, it's not going to a war like World War II where we're, fighting because someone attacked us. No, we're fighting all these stupid wars, about 8 of them now, that we know of, 8 that we know of, all over the freaking world. So we've dumped billions of dollars in this program, and get this, at the same exact time. Now, this comes from an Intercept article, and the title of this one, Why the UN is Investigating Extreme Poverty in America, the World's Richest Nation, by Ed Pickle, Pickle, Pilkington. That last name tripped me up. And it goes on to say, all we have to do is say this. There are 41 million people in poverty in the U.S. 41 million. That is a lot of people. And many people say the estimate is actually higher than that. So while we're wasting billions of dollars on F-35 jets that don't help anybody in this country, well, a very small group of workers, I'd say, and of course the profits, I guess, of the Lockheed Martin CEO, and we're wasting more billions on a fucking stupid wall that doesn't really accomplish much, and I guarantee you is not going to change this country for the better. It's not going to really have much of an impact at all. We could have done something to help those people, right? I mean, this is the thing that Trump was one of the biggest liars on. He went out there in the campaign trail, I'm going to do something for Americans, and that idea was great. Hell, I was politically ignorant a few years ago, 2016, and when I first saw Trump on the wall, I thought, oh, that sounds like a neat idea. That's something new, right? No one's ever talked about that. This guy, he's caught my interest. Maybe we should just build a wall. But the more you look at it, it's a waste of time and money, and billions of dollars are going to go into these projects that don't help Americans really. If there's a poor person living on the border, and now there's a wall there, what the hell did that wall accomplish for them? Not a damn thing. Not a fucking thing. And this is a country that is one of the richest, I think it is the richest nation in the history of the world. We have tons of cash, and then we need more. We just print more money. We just print more money all the time. It's hilarious. Which is why the whole thing about, if only we could do free school and single payer, we can't afford it. Yes, we can. The military budget is upwards of past $700 billion. And that's yearly. Yearly. It just was raised last year. So we are spending, in the long run, we are spending trillions of dollars. Think of all those zeros. Think of all those zeros. And yet, in this richest country on earth, in the wake of the freaking Las Vegas shooting, we had people with GoFundMe pages for their medical bills, and it's not rare. People go GoFundMe for their medical bills. I myself, as a college student, can't really afford, and I have insurance through the school, and I still have to pay out of pocket for a lot of things for dental work. It costs hundreds of dollars, and their best option, well, we got credit card. Well, no, I already am in debt because of loans. Now you want to shove more debt on me for dental procedures. And then, of course, it turns one thing to another. If you get this procedure, you're going to need braces, and then it just stacking up the cost. And I'm going to pay through all this, through care credit? It's insanity. And instead of proposing things that actually make sense and will have an impact on people's lives, we're doing shit like building walls and building jets that don't do anything for people. How about job programs? Making college more affordable so more people will go to college and get better jobs out of it. Raising the minimum wage so people can actually live. And yes, that's a big problem in many states. Many states. California is not excluded from that. Basically, in any state, if you have minimum wage, you cannot live. You're guaranteed to be living at home. You're guaranteed to probably be on the poorer side. And let's hope, it's temporary for you. But sometimes you get stuck in a hard place in life and you end up in these crappy jobs. And that's the thing. And people say, well, minimum wage job is not supposed to be permanent. Well, let me tell you something. You could get a higher up job. Maybe like for where I live in Paris, California. One of the big things around here is warehouses. Amazon, Ross, all the other companies. A lot of those jobs either pay minimum wage or right above it. Right above it. When I was working at Amazon 2 years ago, I was getting paid $11.75, either $11.25 or $11.75. That's only $1 or so above the minimum wage, and minimum wage just went up. It's going up at a snail's pace, which means the job money you get from there is worth less and less. And life is not getting cheaper. Food gets more expensive. Rent gets more expensive. It's going up all the time. This thing with Trump and citing walls and ICE and high taxes as America's problems, dude, that's not the problem. The problem is we're putting so much money into stupid shit, and then we sit there and scratch our heads and wonder what's going on. Well, let's blame the immigrant, but the immigrant has nothing to do with illegal or not. It does not matter. They're not the ones. Illegal immigrants are not the reason 41 million Americans are poor. I mean, that's the thing. Trump somehow, Jerry Brown has run the country very well. You could go to any state and find appalling poverty. High taxes or low taxes, doesn't matter. Just I don't travel that much, but last year I did a little bit of traveling. Right here where I live in Paris, California, yes, you could find plenty of homeless people. I went to Gaslamp District. Gaslamp is, if you've heard of it, is a very fun place. They got bars, nice hotels, cigar lounges. Great place. It's fun. I love the place. But right down the street from Gaslamp is a homeless encampment, and it basically surrounds Gaslamp on all sides. Are homeless encampments. People, with carts and the tents and everything, and there's a plethora of them. And what are they doing? They're building new hotels and restaurants and things. They're just going to pretend like they're not there and push them out, push them somewhere else. Screw it, it's not our problem. When I went to San Francisco around December of last year, I saw the same thing. Uh, Tons of them. You have nice hotels, you got restaurants, and then you see just a block away. I'm telling you, 5-minute walk away, scores and scores of people living in poverty or just flat out on the streets. And then when I went to Vegas Vegas last summer, what I saw the same thing, the same thing. And if you look it up in this article that I'm talking about right now, the one for Intercept, there is third world level poverty in the United States. And red states like Alabama and West Virginia are some of the worst places to be poor in. These people live in appalling poverty. It's sickening. And then Trump says, if we build a wall, oh, there you go. That's an accomplishment under the belt right there. There you go. Put that on the mantle. I built the wall. It's a waste of time and money. And when we just saw the teacher strike, West Virginia, when it gets that bad that the entire state schools, all public schools are shut down because the teachers aren't paid, the entire state, not just one school, not two schools, not a few counties, the entire state goes on protest for higher wages, we have a problem in this country. The people who educate our kids, and the kids are the future. It's not just a cheesy line. The kids are literally the future, and the people teach them are at poverty wages themselves. So America has lost its freaking mind, and and not all the blame goes on Trump. Trump didn't create this mess, but he certainly isn't making it any better. This policy it's misguided, it's ignorant, and all this shit about ICE and border walls, it's just ridiculous, dude. If you could explain to me how that's going to make America's life better, I would love to hear it on a massive scale, not stopping crime, stopping crime, stopping crime. Dude, the major problems in America, if I find a report, a statistic that says that illegal immigrants are the ones why 41 million people in this country live in poverty, and with his tax cuts, probably a hell of a lot more people will also start living in poverty, I'll give Trump some credit. But I guarantee that's probably not going to fucking happen. That is not going to fucking happen. There's no rational, logical solution to America's problems that involves getting rid of illegals, curbing immigration. You could kick all of them out, and it's not going to solve it. This problem, there's nothing's going to change. You haven't accomplished a damn thing. That's it for this one. I'll be the one to say I certainly wish Trump had stuck to his populist tone, but he didn't, and here we are. Things the same way with Bush to Obama, and then Obama to Trump. Things have only gotten worse. More people poor. More money going to the military-industrial complex for bullshit like F-35s that don't fucking work because the plans to make them are just completely half-assed and make no fucking sense. And you know what? And then I'll end on this note. Last time I checked, now correct me if I'm wrong, but last time I checked, ISIS is basically a guerrilla force. Now, granted, they are very, very, you could say very well organized. It's been very hard to take them down. They're nowhere near done. But they don't have fucking jets. They control, say, certain parts of land in the Middle East, and they do terrible things like use human shields, but they don't have shit like fucking jets. And I've made this point many times before that I feel like it's always a kind of an inconsistency in the military that we say, man, we've got to keep making more and more shit. I mean, human beings have not gotten harder to kill since World War II. At a certain point, you got to say, this is enough. This is as high as we need to go with this, because what on earth is the point? If you're trying to tell me that the F-35 is all of a sudden going to turn around the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the F-35 is going to solve all our problems over there and win us those wars, that's not true either. F-35 is a complete waste of fucking money. The F-35 is not going to win those wars for us. We already have technology that's way more advanced than ISIS. We have fucking satellites, thermal imaging. We have the world's biggest, strongest military. We shove more money than anybody in the entire world into our military. A lot more bigger than Russia, bigger than China, bigger than the UK. But you think shoving even more is going to solve these problems? No. Putting more money into military industrial complex will not solve our problems at home or abroad. It's just that simple.